wake up in the top 10. I mean, is there a renewed hope for the team as far as the destinations possible, things you can do?
I don't think there's ever been a lack of hope. I think that the biggest thing, though, is we need to control our own destiny, make sure we take care of business. We can't rely on other people. We slipped, and we're fortunate that with all the upheaval in college football and the rash of what people call upsets, that we were the beneficiary of that. We didn't do a lot to deserve it, so we have to earn it, go back out this week. It's not much fun on a Saturday, it really isn't, when you don't get to play. It's fun to watch football games, but it's a lot more fun after you've played and won your game. Then you can go and enjoy, at least for me, it's enjoyable watching other people play that.
Your reaction when you look at the schedule and you don't have to go to Pullman this year?
Well, we still have to go to Washington, so but yeah, Pullman, it's sort of weird. I just read where this is Alex Brink's first opportunity to come back to Eugene, which just shows how many times we've been to Pullman. I think he's been there 5 years, so.
I think they were here when he was a red shirt.
Oh, okay.
Hey, thoughts on SC losing? I mean, did you have any message for your guys after Stanford beats SC?
Well, I haven't yet. I'll probably talk to them after practice. It's the same as we always talk about, though. You better play very motivated, very up-tempo, dedicated football every weekend, whether you're home or on the road, no matter who your opponent is. And I think that's, again, just points to the parity in college football, and it may be more this year than ever before. But Stanford, showed flashes of pretty good things against us. They just couldn't do it consistently, but they certainly came on at the end and did it when they needed to against SC. And, I don't know. It's a crazy conference in that regard. I mean, UCLA is still undefeated in the conference, even though they've lost 2 out-of-conference games. So I don't have a clue on the conference. It's just, as I said before, we need to make sure that we control our destiny, that we are taking care of business for the Ducks. And this week, the only game we get to play is Washington State. I think they're very dangerous. They're coming off their best game, which was almost enough to upset Arizona State, which has not lost a game this year.
What have you seen so far, scouting report there with the Cougs?
Well, they played a very aggressive defense last game. Came after Arizona State with some type of a dog or blitz every single down, just about. And it was probably the best defensive game they played, so I assume that they'll continue some form of that against our team, although with the option it makes it a little bit more difficult. Alex Brink is their team. He's got a great supporting cast. Their wide receivers and tight end do a great job, the offensive line, but he makes that team go, and we have to be prepared for that, and I'm sure he'll be especially motivated coming home.
You surprised at how he's developed in 5 years up there?
No, not at all. He was a guy that, they didn't offer him either out of high school. They picked him up very, very late. We looked at Alex and talked about the fact that some things might occur for us. I talked to him myself, Andy Ludwig talked to him. I think that was when we signed actually all 3 quarterbacks. I think Johnny DeRocher, who was a state player in Washington, Dennis Dixon, and Brady Leaf. And it was difficult a little bit to figure out another one, but I thought he was of the caliber that he would develop. He was physically not where those other guys were at that time.
Mike, last year, and you talked about it a lot this year too, same record, but this year's team seems to be more on the upswing. You're ranked in the top 10. Is there just a totally different feel than a year ago, even though the record's the same at the moment?
Yes, I think so. And I give credit to the players. I think that's all the way they control things. From a coaching standpoint, I don't think we've approached, well, I take that back. We have approached some things differently this year, but it's been more their response, their ability or willingness to listen, in my mind, to whatever pearls of wisdom my staff and I may throw out there. I think it's more their own internal resolve. And, we lost a game, but we lost it in a manner that we could take some positives away from that. And certainly we need to, because when you lose, you put your destiny in somebody else's hands. And for us right now, it's like I come back to that. We have to get back on the winning track. Every game in the conference is difficult, and I will make sure our team is very aware of what occurred with Stanford and SC, but I'll remind them of that this week.
Other than the guys you lost for the season, health-wise, you come into this week in pretty good shape?
Yes, actually should be totally good. Antonio Salado has some bruised ribs, and that's the extent of the injuries to the people that play.
The bye week, what areas, any specific area that you felt will help you improve having that week off?
The only thing was the health of the team. I think there's some guys that are beat up. You play 5 straight weeks, and some of those bumps and bruises don't go away. It's just sort of a mental as well as a physical respite. They get a chance to relax and maybe appreciate what they've done and look forward to the remainder of the season with a renewed vigor and enthusiasm.
Thanks, Mark.